So when people talk about the best fighters to never win a world title, the first name comes up all the time is Bomber Graham. You could expand that. In my head, I think Kevin Mitchell's pretty close. I think Ryan Rhodes is certainly up there. And one guy is up certainly maybe joint top with Bomber Graham in my head anyway, is Henry Wharton from York. I interviewed him in January for the forthcoming Mickey Duff book, The Little Big Man. So it's going to be out next year now. I haven't got the time to, I've got to get Nick Manners out first and then Junior Witters. And I'm going to be in London next week, actually, with, to just get the last bits of the book done. A few of the London X boxes and so on. But I tell you what, Mickey Duff, a lot of people go, pretty ruthless, cold, if you want loyalty, buy a dog kind of thing. But I tell you what, one fighter he absolutely loved, and maybe he was his favourite, I don't know. Certainly up there with Duke McKenzie and Billy Swear, and that was Henry Wharton. He was a promoter's dream because he was good looking and he could sell tickets. And when I say sell tickets, I mean he could really shift them. Barring Ricky Hatton out of the equation, I think he could quite possibly be British boxing's biggest ticket seller. He's certainly up there. I've watched a lot of Henry's fights this year. Just purely down to me doing thorough research for Mickey Duff, because a lot of the fights Mickey Duff's on getting interviewed, before the fight or after the fight. And I was in bed the other night watching, what was I watching? Must have been his Nigel Benn fight or something. And the wife kind of just started getting interested, and she went, "Oh, is that bloke you went to see earlier this year, Henry Wharton?" I was like, "Yeah." She went, "Oh, he's good looking, isn't he?" I was like, all right, okay. It's obviously handsome guy, could fight, could sell tickets. So Mickey Duff loved him. As I said, I met him start of this year, and I do want to go meet him again. And I want to get a few interviews for this channel. Obviously we've got a huge boxing contingent that follows this channel now. We've got over 11,000. I'd like to ask Henry what was the difference between Eubank and Benn. I'd like to ask him, obviously he's from the travelling community, and next to water and oxygen, it's bred in them, isn't it? It's part of they need it to survive. But obviously I'd like to, I know he's training young kids these days in York. Anyone wants the links for his gym, I'm going to put the links in the bio. You're quite welcome to contact him. He's a very, very friendly guy, very approachable. But I just think he, obviously you're looking at the pictures now, a guy who, as I said, I've said this before, I was an avid boxing news reader from the age of 12, and I'm 44 now. And when Henry was at his peak, the boxing writers a lot of them would say had the best left hook in the world. His right hand just certainly wasn't as good as his left hook, but he just come short. He fought Eubank and Benn and Robin Reed for the WBC. But yeah, he was a huge success, British, Commonwealth, European champion, top amateur box for England, got the ABA final, was disqualified in the final. But I've met a lot of people the last couple of years, and there's a saying, never meet your heroes. And the two boxers that stand out for me for being really, really nice. I've known Josh Warren from about 2011, since kind of before he was known. But Josh Warren's one of them, and Ricky Burns. And I'd put Henry Wharton in the fact that he's just very polite, very courteous. Nothing's too much trouble for him. Impeccable manners. Yeah, he's a lot more nicer than what I'd actually even thought. And yeah, let us know your thoughts below. Do you know him? Did you watch many of his fights? It's just a shame. I've watched a lot of Henry's stuff this year, and he says, I'm totally at peace. I'm totally happy with, falling short at the last hurdle. But his legacy is, I certainly think he should be spoken of a little bit more. One thing I'm going to have to do in the next couple of months is I'm going to have to read his book, because obviously I write a lot of books. So when you write books, and then you're interviewing people and you're proofreading them, and the last thing you want to do is read. I certainly don't read. I think I've read 2 books in the last 10 years, but I was like 2 books a year man for years. But yeah, he's one of the nicest people I've met. I've met so many people the last couple of years from my journey from writing books, and I've met all my football heroes, all my boxing heroes, and Henry Wharton is one that stands out as being an absolute gentleman, and he could really, really fight. It's when I interviewed, in my opinion, I always thought Billy Schwer was Mickey Duff's golden boy, if you like. And when I interviewed Duke McKenzie, Duke's got 20 pages in this forthcoming book, and I thought, no, Duke McKenzie is the son that Mickey Duff never had. Sorry, the second son. And when I interviewed Henry, I just thought, you know what? Mickey absolutely idolised him. And together they did great things. As I said, I interviewed Henry. I think he's got about 8 or 9 pages for this book. I interviewed his coach the other week, a lovely guy, Venerable Gary Akin. Absolute pleasure to be in his company, and I think he's got a book in himself. I interviewed Gary for something like 1 hour 38 minutes. I think I typed it up, and it's about 19 pages. But obviously, him and Henry were very, very close, and yeah, they had a lot of good times together, and they put York on the boxing map. But yeah, let us know your thoughts below. Henry Wharton used to come out to the ring to Bonnie Tyler's I Need a Hero. Yeah, top fighter, and in my head, kind of growing up, I watched all his fights. Back then I think it was the Big Fight Live, and it's just a shame he was in that era of the Ben Eubank, and because he was world class. He'd actually beat a couple of world champions in Vincenzo Nardiello and Mario Galvano. And when I think of all his, he had them 2 classics with Rod Douglas, and he wasn't easily matched, Henry Wharton. He had it was quite a hard route, if you like, but he did it the old fashioned way. Obviously there was no English title then, but it was British, Commonwealth, European, and yeah, he's a fighter that, in my opinion, deserves to be spoken of a little bit more. Very humble, very humane, and doesn't like to brag or nothing. But yeah, lovely fella, Henry Wharton, and hopefully I will go back to York and get him, interview him for this channel. But as I said, if anyone wants to get in touch with him, or any people who fancy, inquiring about this gym in York, then click on the bio, and the links will be in the video. Let us know your comments below on Henry Wharton.